So we just wrapped up a day of showings with the team, and I thought of a video. So he had the camera equipment. He said, might as well shoot. So today we're going to be going over what $300,000 buys you in Washington, D.C. It's a question I get a ton. People are always wondering, okay, Gavin, I'm looking to spend around 300K, maybe up to 400. What can I actually buy? So if you're interested in that, stick around. We're gonna be touring a number of properties and showing you guys how far that money will actually go in Washington, D.C. We're gonna also be bouncing around to like a couple different neighborhoods to give you guys an idea of what your money buys you in different areas, what kind of house, what kind of neighborhood, the size you get, price per square foot, level of finish, the whole nine. We're gonna be breaking everything down and giving you guys a really good inside look. So if that's something you're into, tune in, you won't be disappointed. And if you are brand new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you'll get notifications so you'll know anytime I post updates. I'll be doing a lot of luxury house tours, informational videos, breaking down the buying and selling process and talking about some of the marketing techniques we use to get our sellers the most amount of money and the similar marketing techniques we use to get our buyers the best deals. So I'll see you in a little bit. So this street is actually on the bottom corner of Columbia Heights, which if you're looking for something under 400K, there's not a ton of inventory and usually it can go very fast. So it's really important that you have a good agent that's super proactive. If you find something in the market that you like and you want to pursue, they're ready to show it to you same day because again, the inventory is very constrained. But the good part is you do have a bunch of new development coming through at that price point. 4 one-bedrooms and 1 bath at good square footage, somewhere between the range of 500 and 700 square feet with reasonable and manageable condo fees and some lovely finishes. So you just gotta be proactive, be on top of it, and you'll definitely find something. All right, guys, so the first property we're gonna be looking at today is gonna be in the zip code of 20009. So this zip code is a little bit of a mix between Adams Morgan, the U Street corridor, and Columbia Heights. The property in particular is on University Place Northwest, and the project is actually a condo conversion project, which we're gonna be getting into what the meaning of that is a little bit later on in the video. So the price per square foot for 1-bedrooms in Columbia Heights is around 600. It can be lower than that for like older stuff and basement units and higher up to 700 a square foot for penthouse units or the newest development. This particular condo is right around 681 a square foot, so it's perfect. It's right on the mark based on the level of finish, and it is brand new and they did do a phenomenal job in here. We go to the back here, we have our bathroom, and then we have a bedroom here, and we have a bunch of natural light pouring in. So the reason why I specify between 1-bedrooms, 2-bedrooms, and studios is there's actually a difference between the price per square foot that you get. It's usually a big question that people have. Well, they see a 2-bedroom and they see it's priced at a certain price per square foot that's different than a 1-bedroom. Ironically enough, the price per square foot is gonna vary not only from neighborhood to neighborhood, bedroom count to bedroom count, but even condo building to condo building within the same neighborhood. So it can vary quite a bit. So if you're looking for good food in Columbia Heights, I would suggest you check out Red Rocks over on Park Road. You could also check out Creole on 14th, which, as you would have guessed it, is on 14th Street. And if you're in the mood for like a late night bar, you can check out Red Derby, which is also on 14th Street. So DC is broken up into 4 quadrants, right? Northwest, Northeast, Southwest, Southeast. There's a lot of inventory in the Northwest part, Northeast side, and the Southeast side as well. In the Southwest side, you have a lot of new development, condo buildings as well. Where we're headed to next, it's a neighborhood in Northeast called Trinidad. The property that we're gonna be looking at is over on Staples Street. Right now, it's about a 30-minute drive. It is Sunday, middle of the day, so there is a little bit of traffic. All right, guys, so right now we are in Trinidad in Northeast. So this is a neighborhood that has gone through massive changes and massive development in the past few years, especially on the real estate side. Before we pop into this, take a look at this unit, let's talk about schools. So DC schools are something that's been incredibly confusing for a lot of parents, and it's a big question we always get. And although because of fair housing, we can't get super specific about schools, just to touch on the DC lottery a little bit. So the DC school lottery, the purpose is so that there's fairness throughout the district. So no matter where you live, you can go to a school outside of your neighborhood. Ironically enough, 3 out of 4 of all DC students actually attend schools that aren't within their boundary. They actually attend schools outside of their boundary. The DC school lottery is ideal for parents who are looking to get their kids in a pre-K program, a dual language program. They're looking to send their kids to a school outside of their boundary, or they're looking to enroll their student in a charter school. That's a little bit about the DC lottery. Again, it's still very confusing. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me. So what I like about Northeast is that most of the condo buildings here have relatively low condo fees. Usually they start somewhere around the 200 mark and are usually below 250. Sometimes they're even cheaper in like the 150 and 170 range. The condo fees are what you're gonna pay to the association to maintain and upkeep the building. So they're gonna make sure that the hallways are always clean, the trash is taken out. If there's any minor leaks in a roof, they'll take care of things like that. Anything major, you will generally get a special assessment, which everyone will have to pitch in for. But for the most part, in a newer building, you're not gonna have any of that for a very long time, and your condo fee should relatively stay the same. So the good part about condo associations as well is that they keep up all the rules on the property. So you're not gonna have neighbors maybe doing things like Airbnbs or painting the outside of their unit doors different colors or putting things up or doing things against the regulations. So the condo that we're in right now is actually ground up development. So what that means is there was an existing structure here, they tore it down and built this, or there was raw land and they built this structure absolutely brand new straight out of the ground. That differs from condo conversions, which are very typical in DC, and that was actually the last property we saw. That was an example of a condo conversion. In the case of a condo conversion, what you have is a house or a multifamily building that's owned by one owner. What they do is they usually will gut it out, they will renovate the property completely, and they'll assign each individual unit its own title and sell them off separately. So that defines a condo. If you're wondering what a condo is, now you know. All right, so let's go ahead and step outside for a little bit. All right, so we're in the same neighborhood today. We really lucked out weather-wise. In DC, you can wake up one day, the beginning of the day, it's super cold. Later in the day, it's scorching hot, vice versa. You may have days where it's 60 degrees one day and it's snowing like 3 days later. So you always want to be flexible. If you're moving here, make sure you got your spring, fall, summer, winter clothes. Make sure they're all ready and packed because you're going to need them. All right, so we're on a block that was previously all multifamily buildings, and what they've done is that they've converted some of these to condos, right? So I want to show you guys an example of what a multifamily condo conversion looks like. So usually these buildings were 4 units. They were set up with 1 bedroom, a porch in the back. When they convert to condos, what they'll usually do is keep the bedroom, actually enclose the porches in the back to make these 2-bedroom units, and then they sell them all off as individual parts. So I just wanted to show you guys an example of a apartment to condo conversion, because we just saw some new development, but this is a great example of a apartment to condo conversion. How you can always tell as well is the meters, right? So these are all the electric meters. If you're ever driving down a block, you can either tell it's a multifamily or a condo building by the amount of meters. You can also tell the amount of units in here. Occasionally you will see 4-unit buildings with a 5th meter. That 5th meter is just for the common space. But this right here is a 4-unit building. We got the 4 meters right there. All right, now let's head over to Deanwood, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods, a neighborhood I have personally bought a number of properties and sold them in that neighborhood. I've also helped dozens of investors buy properties as well as homeowners buy properties in that neighborhood. It's very much an up-and-coming neighborhood. It's got a rich history. It's one of the oldest neighborhoods in DC, and there's a really good mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and some condos throughout. So I think you guys are really gonna like that one. The last house we're gonna be looking at is a single family home. It's 3 beds, 1.5 baths, and it's detached, about 1,200 square feet, on 1 level. So we'll go check that out in a little bit. Let's head on over. And guys, do not sleep on Northeast and Southeast DC. I think they still have a ton of room to run. I've heard a lot of buyers saying, oh, things have gotten so expensive in Northeast, Southeast. They have, but they will get more expensive. So if you're looking for more space, if you're looking to buy a house that's like renovated and you're looking to be under that 500K mark, which is really unheard of in anywhere in DC or Northern Virginia, you can maybe find some homes like that in PG for sure. But if you're looking to stay in DC or be like in Virginia, kind of close enough to commute and jump in, and you don't want to live in Maryland, then Southeast and Northeast are perfect places for most buyers to look. So this is an example of a renovated property in Northeast. If you'll notice, I'm not going to mention price per square foot because these aren't actually priced that way. There's a mix between townhomes, single family, and condos, and they're all actually priced differently. How we usually price single family homes is we price them based on bedroom count, bathroom count, and square footage. That's going to differ a lot from a condo because there's a lot more, you know, there are condo fees, there are other things that go into that valuation. Ironically enough too, just because a house is in the same zip code as another home doesn't mean that we value it the same. A lot of times we actually look neighborhood to neighborhood. So for example, this is in Deanwood. If I went over to Marshall Heights, which is in the same zip code of 20019, I would actually value the homes completely differently and go off of the comps in that particular area, right? So everything is very hyper local in DC, and it's very neighborhood specific and block specific on what you can get or what you should buy things for. A good reason as well to make sure you're really with a seasoned agent is you want to make sure you're not overpaying for the wrong area, and you also want to make sure that you're going with a right property, right? You don't want to buy a property from a flipper and then it ends up not being a good property. You end up having to put a bunch of money into it when you already put your down payment. So we know the good developers, the bad developers, we know the good houses and the bad houses. So we'll make sure that you're making a great decision. So this is a great example of what you can get for under $400,000 in DC, between that $300,000 and $400,000 range. The upside is there are things. The downside is it's a very competitive buying pool. So if you are buying in this range, you want an agent who knows what they're doing, is going to be proactive, and can actually make sure they're going to get you a house. I end up picking up a lot of clients who have been working with an agent when the market was slow, when it was competitive. They were going, submitting offers, and they weren't getting anything. And we were able to work with those buyers and get them a home in the first go around. My team is licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. If you're thinking about buying a home, you're thinking about selling a home, you're thinking about selling a home and then buying a home and want to do it all in one shot, reach out to us, call us, text us, email us. We'll be more than happy to help you out.